Welcome back to These Things Are Written. On this Thursday, we are continuing to follow Paul as he returned to Jerusalem. As he returned to Jerusalem, he went to the temple, but some Jews in Asia there made accusations about him, and he was beaten by a mob. He was rescued by the Roman soldiers, and now he has been brought into their barracks to be questioned. We pick up Acts 21, verse 37. As Paul was about to be brought into the barracks, he said to the tribune, "May I say something to you?" And he said, "Do you know Greek? Are you not the Egyptian then who recently stirred up a revolt and led the 4,000 men of the assassins out into the wilderness?" Paul replied, "I'm a Jew from Tarsus in Cilicia, a citizen of no obscure city. I beg you, permit me to speak to the people." And when he had given him permission, Paul, standing on the steps, motioned with his hand to the people. And when there was a great hush, he addressed them in the Hebrew language, saying, "Brothers and fathers, hear the defense that I now make before you." When they heard that he was addressing them in the Hebrew language, they became even more quiet. And he said, "I am a Jew, born in Tarsus of Cilicia, but brought up in this city, educated at the feet of Gamaliel, and according to the strict manner of the law of our fathers, being zealous for God, as all of you are this day. I persecuted the way to the death, binding and delivering to prison both men and women, as a high priest and the whole council of elders can bear me witness. From them I received letters to the brothers, and I journeyed toward Damascus to take those who were there and bring them in bonds to Jerusalem to be punished." This is the word of the Lord. See, the tribune thought he had captured a rebel, one of the assassins, the Egyptian that had a large group of followers that had kind of vanished into the desert. But he was surprised then that Paul was speaking Greek to him, because Greek was really the official language of the Romans. It was the one that most of the business was transacted through. And now Paul, being a Jew that he thought was an Egyptian, ended up speaking this Greek language, threw him into a little bit of confusion. Obviously, this wasn't who he thought. He had not captured the assassin that he was after, and now he was stuck with this man, this Jew, who had gotten caught up in the middle of some kind of religious disagreement. Paul noted that he was a Jew by nationality, by birth. His parents were of the Hebrew lineage and so was he. He was from Tarsus in Cilicia, pointing out the area that he had grown up in. And then he said, "I am a citizen of no obscure city," really pointing out that he was a Roman citizen and shouldn't be arrested. But somehow the tribune missed this, because Roman citizens would be treated differently. They wouldn't be beaten. They wouldn't be put into chains. They could be arrested, but they would be treated in a whole much kinder way. Paul, it's interesting, he was about to be killed by a mob, but apparently he wasn't too worried, because he took this opportunity to share the gospel, to be able to speak to the people and make a defense of what he was doing, but in that defense, sharing with them the love of God through Jesus. He spoke to them in their language, Hebrew, so he spoke to the Roman in Greek and the Hebrews in Hebrew, being all things to all people. And he shares with his before story, his story of what happened, who he was before he met Jesus, really how Jewish he really is. He talks about how he was educated in this city, in Jerusalem, by Gamaliel. He was zealous for God in the manner of the law. And he persecuted the way. He persecuted the early Christian church, as we remember from early on in Acts chapter 9, of how he was wreaking havoc in the church. He was even sent to Damascus to take care of the early church starting in that place. Now we might see this and think that he was simply glorifying his past. But again, he was being all things to all people, showing his connection with them, preparing them and preparing their hearts to hear the message of what God had done for him through Jesus Christ. He was connecting to the listeners so they might learn about Jesus. Sometimes we might need to talk about our past, the things that we have done that are not so good, but never to glorify the past, never to blend in with others, but to lead people, to show people that God saves all people, that there is no one too bad to be saved by the grace of Jesus Christ. Tomorrow we hear more of this story as Paul gets into more of the gospel of what happened to him and what he became following that. I invite you to join us again tomorrow as we continue our study on the book of Acts. God bless. Go in peace.